with the death of Osama bin Laden at the hands of some secret squirrel frogmen in Pakistan, there came a nationwide interest as to who killed Abba. Navy SEALs was released to the public, whether via the White House or the Department of Defense. But it was those subject matter experts, such as Sian Naylor, Jeremy Scahill, etc., who made sure to correct the media that it was actually the SEALs of Josark, Devdru, or simply SEAL Team 6. I even heard the mention of Task Force Brew on CNN. Amazing. As the days after settled down, the internet blogging community kept asking the same two questions. The first question from those not in the know was simply, who is SEAL Team 6? The second question was by the ones who were in the know as well as the entire Army Special Operations Command. To be honest, I was one of those asking the second question. The UBL operation and the choice of the unit lead to the topic of what is the difference between Delta and SEAL Team 6 by many individuals out there. But hundreds of civilians and 99 of the military will tell you there is no difference and that they are identical. Those who served in the Joint Task Forces overseas will all tell you that the case is just not so. You can tell a lot about unit by its foundations or its core. Almost 100% of the SEAL Team 6 shooters came from the SEAL Teams whilst Delta Force. It's comprised of personnel from the Ranger Regiment, Special Forces, the Conventional Army, as well as even members of other military branches. There have even been SEAL Team 6 members who have vetted for Delta over the years. Of Delta, the majority come from the 75th and SF. Two very distinct units with completely different missions and cultures. On one side, you have members who grew up in a unit, whose sole purpose in life was to skull-stomp terrorists with the utmost violence. And on the other side, you have a unit whose expertise in foreign internal defense and unconventional warfare makes them masters and masters in the art of training, advising and force multiplying the way future wars will be. This alone is a major difference between both units. To give you an example, in the 1980s, when the US was heavily involved with the war in El Salvador, our government sent in Special Forces ODAs to help organize and train their conventional military. In that same time frame, we also deployed teams from Delta to organize and train the El Salvadorian. It's the strong sub-backgrounds by many of Delta operators that made that operation possible. Although the SEALs have been tasked with some fight over the years, none of them really prefer to do it. Just ask Bannon. And they don't do it on the same proficiency as Army SF. I personally think SEAL Team 6 is a little more one-sided than Delta, because the incredible majority of its members all grew up on the teams doing the same missions and undertaking the same training. SOFREP and the Rangers are vastly different from each other. So are the SEALs from both those units as well. Culturally, Delta's composition naturally leads it to be its own distinct unit, completely separate others. And on that same side, SEAL Team 6, because of its composition and culture, will other SEALs with different capabilities and responsibilities, regardless of its other fancy name. DevGru. Training and selection. One major difference between both units is the way they select their members. In my opinion, it's apples and oranges. The selection process is very simple. Twice a year, the unit holds the 1-month selection course somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains. The course attracts over 100 candidates, primarily from the Ranger and SF communities, but from other components as well. The Rangers and SF soldiers who attend are already some battle-hardened, seasoned shooters who have attended numerous grueling selection training courses previously. And yet the failure rate is still over 90. Even just finishing the course is not enough, as there is a commander's review would. At the end, that determines if this person should be accepted in a unit. If the candidate is accepted, he He attends the 6-month operator training course, which still manages to wash people out who can't keep up with stressful training curriculum. I understand 60-70 pass. If you want to get into the specifics on selection and OTIF, you can read plenty of books, including Inside Delta Force, Kill Bin Laden and the Mission, the Men. And me, SEAL Team 6's selection process is very interesting, in my opinion. It's comprised of 2 parts, the review and green team. The review portion consists of the SEAL submitting his application for entrance to the team, after which his name, team designation, picture are posted on a wall in a corridor at Dam Neck, and it's up to the individual members to give that candidate a check sign or a minus sign to signify if he should be allowed to undertake the selection process. If the SEAL is accepted, he attends the 6-month-long green team. Green team is very similar to Delta's ATSI and is held once a year. 50% do not complete the course. At the end of green team, the graduates take part in a draft process held by different representatives from the squadrons, because SEAL Team 6 members are almost all SEALs. Many of the green teamers and the Team 6 members know each other from past assignments or training. It's in this process that the graduates get drafted into their respective squadrons. Note, I mentioned that all members of SEAL Team 6 are SEALs, and not all, because the team is rumored to be open to members of the Marines, well, as long as they attend BUD. They don't need to attend SEWET. I don't have any concrete information if any are on the team. Operational capabilities. Both units operate in the same spectrum of special operations: counterterrorism, hostage rescue, direct action, and counter-proliferation. Most of the time, they can be interchangeable with one another. Both units have been widely known to conduct exchange programs with one another. The team that I worked with in Iraq had a SEAL Team 6 sniper attached to them. He defended an Iraqi police station from being overrun by insurgents during the Battle of Mosul in 2004 from a hotel rooftop. To answer your question, yes, he was a badass. In a place like Iraq, where most of the combat was conducted in urban and close quarters environments, you really can't tell the difference between a Delta operation versus a SEAL Team 6 operation. Afghanistan has shown to be a different case. Many times during an assault against an objective in the rugged mountains of Afghanistan, a simple clandestine, a sweep, snatch, and grab operation can turn into a major ambush. When this happens, the operation just turned conventional. There is no special way to react to an ambush or contact that is taught only to SOF units and kept hidden from other units. React to ambush is a basic infantry battle drill, and when shit hits the fan, you better believe a Delta operator will be doing the same thing an 11 Bravo private from the 101st is doing on an Afghan objective somewhere else. Here is where some of the cultural differences play a major part in how both units operate. The vast majority of Delta Force are infantrymen. By most or were infantrymen at some point in their careers. The SEALs are not or never were infantrymen, nor have they spent time training as infantrymen. They are a maritime special operations force that focuses on direct action and special reconnaissance. My time in Afghanistan in 2005 was wrought with boredom and non-existent combat. So I've never been on an Afghan objective with SEAL Team 6, got my feet wet in Iraq with Delta. To put it best, my good friend, a squad leader with the Rangers, who has hit countless objectives side by side with SEAL Team 6, expresses that the unit is incapable of making the switch from operators to basic infantry grunts when the need to do so arises. It's not a fault of the unit, but simply a byproduct of where the shooters were raised. As this became an issue, especially with the resurgence of the Taliban in Maastricht 2008, JASA commanders created a very symbiotic relationship between SEAL Team 6 and the Rangers. The two units complemented each other and had a very close relationship in Afghanistan ever since. I hope this paints a non-classified picture of the fundamental differences between a full Neptune and a full Wolfpack. See what I did there? one team, one fight.